Happy Saturday, kids. So glad you guys are with me. Welcome to another Mike Talk. And I'm excited because guess what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is the Lord's Day, and that means we're going to be gathering at the Chateau. We just have 3 more weeks there at 9 and 10:30. I hope you'll come. If you're anywhere close to Central Illinois, come hang out with us. And of course, I'm praying for you. If you need prayer, want me to pray for you, to stand beside you, lift you up, text prayer to that number on the screen, and I will be praying for you. This has been such a great week of talking about how we sow through what God's given us. We sow, and what we sow ends up being the harvest. So I hope you guys can really relate to this whole theme. And isn't He a good and gracious God that He uses us to bring harvest? I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment in 1 Corinthians 3 as we kind of wrap up this week. But I just want to remind you, so many cool things are going on at Song and Sword. We're working on the new building on Jefferson Street. And in fact, if you're hearing this right now and you're close, it's 8 to noon on Saturday morning. Head to the church at 401 East Jefferson Street in downtown Bloomington, and they can probably put you to work. There's a lot of people doing some painting and chipping and scraping and cleaning and all the stuff that goes along with this project. But God is moving in cool ways. Blessings to you all, and thank you guys for your continued prayers and support. Please join us tomorrow. If you can't be at the Chateau, would you please come back here to hear a great message about grace and joy and giving and how that all goes together, all right? I got a great sermon for you. Anyway, let's go today to 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I'm going to pick up in verse 5. I'll give you the context and then give you something to really take with you throughout this day. 1 Corinthians 3:5, Paul's asking this question of the Corinthians, what then is Apollos and what is Paul? They're only servants through whom you believed, as the Lord assigned to each. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. So neither he who plants nor he who waters is anything, but only God who gives the growth. He who plants and he who waters are one, and each one will receive his wages according to his labor. Here's the principle the Apostle Paul is happening. What's happening in Corinth? Well, remember Paul has come into this cosmopolitan place that's really, really impressed with Greek wisdom and knowledge and power and orators that are eloquent with speech. And apparently there's a young man by the name of Apollos who's a great preacher. Paul is a great leader, he's the one that planted the church in Corinth, but since he's gone, a guy named Apollos has come in, and now there's actually division in the Corinthian church. Some people are going, we love Paul, and some people go, no, we love Apollos, he's our favorite preacher. It's too close sometimes to what we experience in the 21st century here. And Paul's going, who should be your favorite preacher? Paul's saying, here's what you should think of us as. We are planters and waterers. That's it. Paul says, I'm the one that planted the church. I sowed the seeds of Corinth, First Christian Church in Corinth. Apollos came along and he watered with his teaching, with his preaching. But here's the thing that I want to leave you with after this week of sowing generously, reaping generously. Here's how the harvest comes. It's all God. It's all God. Paul says, I planted and Apollos watered, but if there's any growth, if you guys have reaped anything, any kingdom benefit, if there's anything that's happening in you spiritual, if the fields of your spiritual harvest are full, it's because God makes stuff grow. And in the end, that's the way it works in the cornfields and the soybean fields of Central Illinois, and that's the way it works spiritually in the church. The Apostle Paul says, so let's look at it this way. So neither he who plants nor he who waters are really anything, but God who makes things grow. Today, why don't you look around and think of your resources. Think of your time. Think of your abilities, your efforts, your strength. Think of your monetary resources. Think of your words. Think of everything you're doing today as doing one of two things for the kingdom of God. You're either planting seeds or you're watering seeds. You're helping, you're a part of God's plan to end up with a harvest. but it's God who's going to make things grow. That takes a lot of pressure off me. I've started a lot of church growth lectures off. Throughout the years, I've had a chance to go, how do you grow a church? How do you grow a youth group? And usually my first line is, I don't know, because I don't make stuff grow. All I can do is plant and water. Ultimately, as a preacher, I'm planting seeds of Jesus Christ and I'm watering faith that's already existing. And sometimes I'm helping people pull weeds, but it's God that makes stuff grow. Today, what words can you give your family, your spouse, your friends, your neighbors that will plant seeds and water seeds of faith? What thing can you give today, tangibly, that is a planted seed or will water? What small gift can you give to your church or to a Christian organization that will be a small seed, a small watering of a plant? Because here's the reality. God has called billions of people since Jesus Christ walked the earth to plant and water. But the glory doesn't go to Paul or Apollos, to the planter or the waterer, to the farmer. The glory goes to God because he makes things grow. May we plant today, on this Saturday, plant some seeds, water some seeds of faith, and then let's watch God grow some incredible stuff in us. God bless you guys. Happy Saturday. We'll talk to you soon.